It's been around since like 2021, right? The 2 links in Breath of the Wild 2 theory. And then obviously some people saying that Ganondorf was actually going to be a playable character in Breath of the Wild 2 due to the fact that we hadn't actually seen Link's face in this different outfit in the trailer. With the delay announcement though, we did get 7 more seconds of footage that actually revealed Link's face, thus doing away with the Ganondorf being a playable character theory. And along with Ganondorf being a playable character, we've also heard about Zelda being a playable character, but this particular theory I have not heard thus far. What's up guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Dusty, one half of Our Radiant Gaming, and let's dive right into this theory. First of all, let me lay a base foundation and then I'll read verbatim what this theory states. I'll venture to say that most Breath of the Wild 2 fans are anticipating the fact that there are going to be like 2 different timelines, right? An older timeline and the present timeline that we had in Breath of the Wild 1 due to the tunic looking different and due to the fact that this Link looks a little different than the Link we played as in Breath of the Wild 1. The Link in the blue tunic we obviously know is the Link we played as in Breath of the Wild 1, and since the events of Breath of the Wild 2 are only taking place 2 years after the events in Breath of the Wild 1, we can pretty much assume that it is the Link we played as in Breath of the Wild 1. But whenever people seen this different variation of Link, we just kind of adopted the fact that this is probably a different time period or a different timeline. And I mean, a lot of people have went as far as to say that this person we see that we can assume Link is in a past time period is actually the hero from 10,000 years ago that Impa told us about in Breath of the Wild 1. Obviously, these are all just theories, but a lot of people really believe them and have a lot of evidence to support them. And if you want to dive a little deeper into this and know what other people are saying, a lot of people have pointed out that the tunic that Link is wearing in what we're going to call the past time is actually the same tunic that Ganon is wearing in this specific part of the trailer. Of course, it's the Legend of Zelda, so naturally everything is confusing and we don't have a lot of details, so a lot of people are really spitting out a lot of these awesome theories, and it's just all confusing per usual. Now, let's get on to the actual theory that I have found. Also, just to mention, this theory does have some spoilers for older Legend of Zelda games, so just keep that in mind as we go through this theory. What this Reddit user states is that Breath of the Wild 2 will not only have Link traveling to a different time period, but it will actually have 2 Zeldas. And when you first hear that, you're like, wait, what? But hear me out. In the 2019 trailer, we see Zelda as what we're going to call the Explorer Zelda, pretty much picking up where Breath of the Wild 1 finished off. In that same trailer, if you notice, Zelda actually has shorter hair as well. And that's really important to this theory. That's why I mentioned this. So let's read exactly what this Reddit user has to say. I mentioned this last year, but given the leak where the Italian voice actor for Daruk revealed himself to be playing Daruk's ancestor, coupled with the trailer references to time reversal, and Link in the trailer matching the design of the ancient hero from 10,000 years ago referenced in Breath of the Wild, it seems that going back and forth between the Hyrule of the present and the past is very likely, made even more likely by Link's newly showcased ability to reverse time. Basically, they're just stating the facts that we have are actually lining up with the fact that we are going to have 2 different time periods for Hyrule, it seems. And like I said, a lot of Breath of the Wild 2 fans anticipating this game have pretty much adopted this thought. And as far as Daruk's voice actor goes, this could just be flashbacks, but I mean, a lot of people have said this pretty much confirms the fact that there's going to be 2 different time periods in this game. Also mentioning the theory that the Link that we see in the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer is actually the same ancient hero from 10,000 years ago from the Impa cutscene in Breath of the Wild 1. And reading on, they say, this structure of traveling between 2 time periods is similar to Ocarina of Time, complete with floating Hyrule Castle, but it was also used in Oracle of Ages. Generally speaking, the premise of traveling between parallel worlds has been used over and over in the Zelda series, as it allows the developers to effectively double the size of the map. And I mean, they're completely right. This isn't something that's completely new to the Legend of Zelda series, and I like the fact that they mentioned that it gives them the opportunity to double the map. I've said this since I've started making videos here on the channel about Breath of the Wild 2, that I really want the map to be bigger than just Breath of the Wild 1, which was obviously huge, but I know that's crazy to think about. But IGN Numa did say that the expanded world goes beyond that in reference to the sky and the land. So, I mean, could it mean that we are getting a bigger map? I certainly hope so. And as far as the time traveling thing goes, I mean, this is right out of the Legend of Zelda franchise playbook. So it is totally possible that this is what's going on. And again, they're just laying the base foundation in their theory. And then going on with what they have to say, I suspect this means that Breath of the Wild Link probably is the ancient hero from this tapestry. Obviously, this is a big assumption. We know this. The Link you're playing as time traveling and turning out to be his ancient predecessor is a plot point in Skyward Sword as well. This leaves the question, however, is the Zelda from Breath of the Wild going back in time and play the role of the ancient Zelda? Personally, I don't think so. And this is where it gets interesting. And in order to understand this one, you have to realize there are theories out there that Zelda will be a playable character with Link and they will travel back in time together. With this statement, this Reddit user pretty much just assumes again that the Link that we play as is actually the same ancient hero from 10,000 years ago from that Impa cutscene in the original Breath of the Wild. Which I mean wouldn't be that far-fetched based off of past Legend of Zelda games. And I mean the theory that they could be exploring together because of the 2019 trailer that we've seen really makes a lot of sense because that's what it looked like in that trailer. Obviously they would go back in time together and they would just go through the whole game together. And that just makes sense, right? But this Reddit user doesn't seem to think so. Reading on, they say, while Link is known to travel through time to fulfill the role of hero, Zelda is not. Rather, I think that the sequel to Breath of the Wild will feature two Zeldas. The researcher Zelda of the present seen in the reveal trailer, and her ancient ancestor who more traditionally embodies the goddess. This would give the sequel a much needed new focal point character. Thus, I believe that Zelda's short hair is being used to differentiate Breath of the Wild from her ancestor. So that's why having shorter hair in this trailer would be a huge deal for a plot point and them kind of giving us a nugget to unravel in these trailers. What this Reddit user is stating is that Zelda will not be going back in time with Link. Instead, Zelda will be two different characters from two different time periods in this game. Obviously, this theory is a super big bummer for those of you who wanted Zelda to be a playable character in Breath of the Wild 2, but it is definitely a different look at this game than we have seen. And I mean, a lot of theories have been surfaced since the announcement of this game. I mean, it's literally been like 3 years, so a lot of theories have came in those 3 years. And I mean, I personally never gave the fact that Zelda did cut her hair in this game a second thought. This happens a lot in video games like Final Fantasy IX and others. So all that to say, I'm not 100% sure that I'm on board with this theory, but it's definitely interesting to think about. Oh, they also added this in there. Anyways, they're going to call it a link in time. I can feel it. And if that previous information we just discussed wasn't enough for you, they just pretty much name dropped the game and pretty much said, this will be the name of the game. I can feel it, which I love the confidence. Do I think this is going to be the name of the game? I think it's kind of too similar to A Link to the Past, but hey, it's totally possible. Given the theories we have and all these theories kind of lining up, if we're being honest, that name really makes a lot of sense. What do you think the name of this game will be? Drop it in the comment section below. I would love to know, as the name of this game actually hasn't been released yet. Also, if you just can't get enough of Breath of the Wild 2 theories, be sure to check out my other videos. This is one half of I Rate It Gaming signing off. Everyone have an awesome day and God bless.